Hey, and welcome back to the Talos Principle, where we last time read too much and are now in a new area. Apparently the second underground area, like the B area, I guess. In any case, we have puzzles to solve because we need a fan for later puzzles. So, it's going to be interesting. I first of all obviously want to look at this garden area here. Quite lovely, actually. Oh, and we have some text over here. As always, we have to do all the reading. Who are you? Samsara? I feel like I recognize that name. Wait. Let me open my notes. I do have like my notes. No, we have Samurai? No. Samsara in Area 6 we've seen them. The sooner you accept that we all will be here forever, the sooner you will find enlightenment, was like their message. There are hidden dangers in this new world. I've inexplicably escaped death a number of times. I suggest vigilance. Who knows what happens to those who step carelessly too often? That's a good question. I mean, I feel like I'm always respawning, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm basically immortal already, so... Now the question is, would immortality while being stuck be that interesting? Anyway, we need a cube over here. Over the fence. Okay. Oh. Oh yeah, it's kind of cute. I'm gonna pick you up and let you blow up that thing. Oh, this is how it works, because I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see. Okay, you can actually see that thing. Okay. I guess I can put you here and bring you with me. I should be able to just jump over and then do the same thing over here. Lovely. Lovely simple puzzle. First piece. And yeah, we can see all the pieces again. Is there something hidden about? I don't think so. I like I mentioned this before, I really like how tutorialized this game is, where like the puzzles really give you the chance to like introduce new concepts in the beginning. I'm hoping that this is also like the beginning, because it would be weird to get this later. We have another cube puzzle. This is a Route of Death. They weren't kidding about the fact that there's going to be a lot of death here. I mean, I can block you real quick to get the thing over here. I don't know what you want me to do though. Because like you're going to move over there. Are you aiming at that thing? No, right? I'm not quite sure what you want from me here. I mean, I can block some of them, because like there's definitely a laser that's aiming towards that. But I don't think... Wait. If I'm standing in the middle here, you're probably going to still shoot me, right? Yeah. I just had to check if I'm like just slightly out of range maybe. But apparently I'm not. I mean, I can block like you, for example, right? Like if I block you, then I'm still getting shot by the other one. Okay. So I just have to try some range. Is there something I'm missing? I feel like I'm missing a mechanic at least. Wait a second. I have like a crazy idea right now. Might not be too crazy, but since those are like all the pieces that I have, is there like a limit to how high you can look? Like if I put you on top of there, I can't jump on top of you though. I mean, I can probably jump on top of you like this, right? Ah, not really. Okay, maybe not quite. If I put you there though, and wait, block or stop that. Are you? Oh, wait. I feel like I get it. So I might be right about the laser thing here. So like you don't shoot me, but you are shooting me. Okay. I still don't really know how I'm to combine these. Like I feel like there's definitely an idea behind this. Wait, can I? Because like you, for example, you seem to be busy aiming at this thing, right? So I can technically walk alongside you, kind of. But I need to be able to block like this one and then the other one as well. Because they're not all aiming at that one, right? Are you aiming at something special? Like, it looks like only you are aiming at that one. Maybe I'm imagining things, so. You know what? I'm gonna skip this. Oh, wait. Maybe I don't need to skip this. Oh, okay, get it. Wait. I'm blocking you here. Okay, this wasn't too bad. I get it now. We can't bring the cube up here because we can't climb while we have something in our hand. But if I block you here, then I can put you here. Okay, and you can also read. Epithet. Or epitaph? A child program version 72.1. Codename Samsara terminated here. Logic. Program timed out, final memory dump. But I was stuck. What was I supposed to? I see clouds. RIP. I mean, there definitely are clouds. I guess we are the first one who can, like, to be able to teleport, or like, rewind time. I want to say, like, teleport. Technically, we can also teleport by just dying, I guess. Unless this is actually a previous like a next version. I should have paid attention to, like, the number behind, like, my quotes. If the number actually increases between my deaths. Because if that's the case, then that would be interesting. Because that would obviously imply that like, there are copies of ourselves, but like the next copy is smarter than the previous one. Which would also be funny, in a way. Somebody's running?
In the time of your ancestors, there were those who did not choose the path of faith. You do not need to fear their ghosts. Fear only that you may become like them.
Okay, so those are the ghosts. We have seen other ghosts before, but they were not screaming like that. So, okay, Elohim, have you tried therapy instead of, you know, disintegrating them? Da! Overrated. Third wheel! Oh, I hope I'm not the third wheel here. But we will see. Okay. Oh, glitching wall. But you're real. No! Anyway, I need to get you going. So I can at least open that thing. That's like some nice music. Every once in a while, I like the drums. Where was the other one? Oh, here. I'm just blind, apparently. I'm gonna use it like this, just so you're not blocking anything. The issue obviously being that I need to... Wait, if I go far enough away... How far away can I get? Also, is there something here? It looked like a QR code for a moment, but it's just like part of the wall's texture. If I go far enough away, then I can maybe... No, I can't. Is like another position from where I can aim this like this? Move you away? I just need like enough space to see both of them at the same time. Yeah, just like that. And then I can put you on here, and everything is fine. That's the second puzzle piece. I like making progress, right? Like I mentioned before, like the red pieces seem to be like the hard ones, and the rest is just mainly tutorials and like minor puzzles comparatively. So I feel like I should be able to finish like this area completely this episode. Unless I get stuck again because I miss a ladder. Anything on the side here? I also should like always look around in these areas. By the way, talking about looking around in these areas. Did this area have any stars? I don't think so, right? I don't remember seeing an indicator for any stars in this area, so I'm just gonna assume that there aren't any. Something odd about a star. Or maybe there's one. I guess this is an answer, okay. There's something odd here. You're connected to nothing. You need something red. I mean, I can always open you. Why are you so slow? How do I, like, what's the indication of whether or not you are opening quickly or not? I only have like a brief moment to go through here. Yeah. Okay, so I need a red laser, and I don't get any here. But I'm guessing it's going to be similar to last time, where we are going to get one on the other side. So I'm just gonna leave you here for now. Unless there's like something hidden in this puzzle area, but I don't think so. That would be weird. Very weird. But it's nice that they're showing me this again, because we had a similar situation in a previous area. Also, I can just climb up here, which is nice. Any secrets? Big old secrets? I guess not. Unless I can climb out of here. I don't think so. I feel like I can't jump high enough, and also this window apparently isn't high enough in general. Like, I can't really climb through there, just because I can't really crouch in this game. Well then, okay. I guess the last puzzle is over here. Also, there's like another text that I missed before. Did I? I made a box float. Seriously, it was awesome. By 8. Okay. Talk about like a single characters. I've been thinking about like a lot of stuff here, right? Because we have like some interesting characters. There's like still the @ symbol that kind of confused me. But then I thought back, and there's actually a game that's like kind of, it's not really the beginning of roguelike. Obviously, like roguelike, the beginning of that one is actually a game called Rogue. But there's another game called NetHack that still has like some player base. And I think if you're playing a human in that game, your character's an @ sign. So I kind of thought about that a little bit. Maybe this is like a reference to that. That like the @ characters actually just meaning that they're like human, kind of depicted. Oh, you're floating. I get lasers over here, that's nice. Window through a door. I'm guessing I'm gonna get, yeah, a red laser here. Well, then let's be cheeky and start with that one first. Like that. Ooh, I'm gonna run through there, get like the goal, like get the piece, right? Just so I don't forget, because I am that kind of forgetful. And then we can actually do the puzzle. Okay. Let's get you the star. Neat. And that should be the only star. I have to look at the puzzle section again, because I don't remember there being a symbol for a star. Maybe they're not showing those again. And it was just something for the first area. But it also means that we should be... Oh, wait, I'm still missing one more... No, wait, I got a star in the area like 2 episodes ago, where I was at the messengers area. We got 1 star and we got this star, and I feel like we only were missing 2 stars to open the secret area. I am... Wait, keep connections? Oh! I never tried that, but you can actually pick it up and keep the connections. I should actually read every once in a while. Anyway, we have a red laser here. Just checking where you bring me. We have another connector. And a red piece over here. So I need to put you here probably. And then I just need to do like a timing thing again. Because it seems like that's the annoying part here. Unless I can get like a connection through here. Doesn't seem like it. I guess I'm just going to put you like in this corner, so there's like more time between the laser getting broken. You're actually quick this time. Like normally you're the slow color. Oh, it's @ sign again. I just don't understand this one. I figured I'd try and make some progress here, but honestly, it's such a thankless task compared to what else is out there. Why is this a thankless task? I mean, yeah, we are all kind of tasked to find the solutions for like the next one to come. But otherwise, I'm not quite sure. Would it be smarter to do like another connection? Probably not. Oh wait, I actually need another connection, okay. Then I have an idea. I have an idea how to do this. I can... Okay, I want to connect you to here. And then I need to reposition you lasers a little bit differently. Because if I connect to you, you, and you at the same time, then once you're open, you're going to stay open. Right, and I can just move you around. And using that laser should be fine. Yep, just like that, just as intended. And this obviously is a very, very slow gate. And I at least understand why those gates are sometimes so slow. Anyway, we can climb up here, that's nice. Look at that. Good old golden piece. And it's the last one we need. So we can now get the fan. I don't know what we need the fan for. I don't know what the fan is all about. But we will see that next time. Look at those dunes. Kind of nice. Can I maybe climb over there? I feel like I can kind of make that jump. I'm kind of curious if I can. Maybe. Wait. Can I stand on here? Oh, wait. I can't turn enough mid-air. I'm kind of... You know, now I'm kind of curious if I can break out of this game. Maybe. But I also... Wait, I actually have like a little bit of time, so I don't actually mind just doing those jumps. Huh. But I feel like I don't have like enough control mid-air to do this. Right, you only have like a very limited amount of control over your character while you're mid-air. Which is fine, obviously. Like, this is not a platformer. I don't expect this kind of platforming to be done here. But I'm still curious if I can climb onto like places I'm not supposed to climb onto. Can I make that jump? I kind of get bounced off there. That's annoying. And even if I landed on there, I couldn't actually continue anywhere. I know, I'm just trying to break the game. I probably shouldn't, right? I feel like worse, like I would probably just get teleported back, knowing this game. The game is quite clear about that in most cases. I could look over here though. And this is not a block, that's just a rock. I thought this might have been something cool. I mean, to be fair, it's a nice rock. It's very shiny in the shining sun, but still, I can expect it like more of a one that I can make float somewhere. I mean, there was a note about making one of those floats, so I'm expecting this to happen at some point. Ooh, purple piece. And that's why you're exploring all the time. Also, I see something. Ooh, secret terminal. Nice. So we have something to read still. That's nice. I have read you, right? This is the note about samsara, yeah. About almost dying. And then actually dying. I know, it's very sad, but alas, so is life. I guess. At least in this world. Okay, can I make this jump? Shouldn't be a problem. So it's time to read. There's another one of those blue terminals. I do like that they have like different designs every once in a while. Let's see. Tell me something. Do you always do as you're told? Am I obliged to answer that question? That's like more of a me answer, but generally not always. I only asked because I couldn't help but notice the stash of brightly colored knickknacks you're collecting. Don't you think it's a mite odd that big a voice in the sky keeps telling you to find those doodads, yet forbidding you to use them to climb the great big tower in the middle of it all? I mean, I want to say, like, I climb it when I'm good and ready, and here's the thing. It's just the way I like to do it. It's not because Elohim told me. Like, if he told me I am, like, he already told me to not enter the tower. I have already done that, right? I just like to collect everything at once. Exactly. Okay, no need to get huffy. You'd be amazed how many just do as they're told without stopping to think for themselves. But maybe you're different. Then again, maybe you're exactly the same. Maybe everyone climbs the tower. And the only way to win is to stay down here with the mortals. Are you trying to manipulate me? Absolutely trying to manipulate me, but the question is if they really think so. No, in fact, I'm all in favor of you poking about up there. If only to see what you find. Must be something juicy if it's forbidden by the Highness. Then again, maybe not. I'll be off then. Just wanted to drop in and run a little interference. Whatever you do take care. You have bigger problems than the voice in the clouds. You don't like to say his name, do you? To be fair, I see why. If you're skeptical, right, like I call him Elohim, but Elohim is, after all, like, was the Hebrew word for God? I forgot that they had, like, the exact language was, like, described, like, somewhere in the beginning. But still, like, using the word of God in that sense, for someone who do not believe God, is probably kinda, you know, something you might disagree with, right? That's kind of how I would put it. I just like using Elohim instead of using his voice all the time. I know, like, this, his highness here is obviously kind of meant sarcastically, but still. You don't like to say his name? Yep, that makes sense. Not very helpful. I will. No, terminating support session. Now question is, who is that? Ooh, mutation, capacity, and evolution. Because, like, is that... Like, we've... Okay, let me put it like this. We have talked to different voices in the terminal, and it seems like those were different ones, if I recall correctly. They do not seem to have, like, the same tone in their, I guess, writing. It's not really their voice. So I'm quite sure that those are, like, different beings, loosely said, in those terminals. And that I'm talking to, it seems like there's always, like, someone else. So, yeah. I'm curious if this message would be different if I had already entered the tower? I don't know. Anyway, mutation HTML. Oh, there are only a few letters in there, or like numbers. The role of mutation in evolution is particularly fascinating. Mutation is essentially an error in the organism's central database. A variable gets changed, a piece of information is accidentally doubled or combined with another. Most of the time, the result is the equivalent of a bug, causing anything from minor problems to complete system shutdowns, i.e. death. But sometimes the new information is functional, giving the organism an advantage against the challenges it faces, in which case it has a much higher chance of being passed to the next generation. I kind of talked about this like when I talked about evolution in general, right? Like the idea like how obviously evolution takes so long because it's like such a minor thing that oftentimes changes. Like imagine, it sounds like kind of weird, but like imagine your gene is different, so your fingernails grow like slightly faster, like 1% faster. This over the long run, like if you're talking about like a monkey, for example, or like an ape, probably advantageous while climbing, but this 1% is having such little impact on your actual survival rate that it has to happen like multiple times, and like it's probably not going to be like disadvantage or like a disadvantage for you to have like slightly faster growing fingernails, assuming that this is just like for climbing and stuff, right? So you are probably going to have like about the same chance to pass on your genes than like all the other people around you. People, obviously, loosely saying, we're talking about monkeys here. But if this happens like a few times, maybe like the difference between like someone having that like, because like assume like this gene gets passed on and then there's like a next random mutation where it's like another percent and then another percent. At some point it's like 5% faster, and like on the other hand there's like a loosely saying family where that got passed down and they actually have like slower growing fingernails or something. And again, I'm using this example because I feel like it's probably something like a really minor benefit that's happening. And obviously at some point there's going to be enough of a difference that it's going to be noticeable in like the chance of them passing it on to children. But again, this happens over like millions of years. This is like the whole thing that makes it like kind of hard to reconceptualize how like those small differences really get passed on, because again, it took like so long. Obviously, we are kind of forcing evolution when we're talking about like something dog breeds, for example, right? Don't forget that they started as wolves and then we bred them to be like the kind of dog that we want these days. And even that took like quite some time. And then like getting the newest breeds of dogs also takes quite some generations of dogs. But obviously a dog's life is a lot quicker than a human one's, right? Like even if you were to like functionally breed humans to get like some specific traits going, ignoring all the morality and all of that stuff in there, it would still take like 20 years or so per generation, which is like a quick generation, right? Like if people talk about generations, at least to my understanding, it's always around like 25 years. At least this is like how I use it, because it's like around the time people have children. Obviously, these days, especially these days, it can happen like a lot later. But like this is like loosely when you have like a new wave of children. Obviously, it's a constant wave because obviously people have like children all the time and not only when they're 25. And obviously if somebody has like a baby at 26, then even if their children all have their children when they're 25, it would also be like offset by a year. I don't know why I'm always yapping about like minor details like that, but right. And this takes like quite some time. And even when we're talking about dog breeds which grow up or like mature a lot faster, and we are actually actively trying to breed like certain traits, it still, you know, takes quite some time, right? And where was I? And obviously, like in the case of like natural selection, this wouldn't be like an active process, which is why it takes like so long. More interestingly enough, there are obviously a lot of species that have basically not changed for like millions of years, which I always find fascinating because that just means that there are probably still smaller traits that have changed. Like, for example, it could be like something like size, but would you really say this is like a new species or like a massive enough impact if there's like a crocodile that's like 2% larger than before? Because that's like literally on the level that you would see variants in just members of like the same family, basically. So anyway, that was enough for the first paragraph. Let's talk about the second one. If you consider how unlikely a beneficial mutation is, and how long it takes for such a mutation to propagate, this process can give you an amazing insight into just how vast the genetic history of each living organism. There's some code, I'm gonna translate it on screen if it's ASCII. Simultaneously, it is intriguing to consider what a major role random errors have played in the evolution of life itself. The same process that has killed so many of us, often in horrific ways, is also responsible for our very existence. And yeah, definitely, like, this is kind of what I talked about, this takes like so long. And also like the whole thing about how lucky we are that like random mutations have not killed all of us. Because like, imagine, right, like we have like a massive body, right, that works. Imagine having a minor mutation that just makes it so that like part of like your arteries is just blocked. Just like one small bit, that's like, compared to your body, like a fraction of a percent that's changed. And like obviously like genetic code looks like different, but like just imagine how little that is and how it would mess up your life if your blood can't pump through like your whole body. And this is just like a minor random mutation that could happen. Obviously you could also have like something positive, but like even if you have something positive, the chance that it is beneficial enough for it to make a difference is quite laughable. Again, I use the example with the fingernails, right? Like having the advantage that it really helps you, kind of a laughable chance, which is why it takes long. But on the other hand, like imagine a mutation where your fingernails just don't grow. Obviously that wouldn't happen. That would, again in the monkey example, probably suck, right? It would suck a lot more than having slightly faster growing fingernails. Like this would be, again, like kind of a death sentence comparatively. And again, example with like the arteries would be a really, really quick death sentence comparatively. And all of those changes are like really minor that to someone just observing you, they would probably not even notice those changes, right? But anyway, that's the mutation text. And I'm yapping too much. I need to probably hurry up for the other two texts. Capacity. From Trevor Donovan to Alexandra Drennan. Subject EL capacity. Yeah, no worries. EL is not only ridiculously fast, it also has a bazillion tons of space. Even while hosting a full copy of the archive, it'll totally be able to handle all our projects or your project's data needs, assuming its output is as you suggested. I mean, the worst case scenario would be like centuries. That would be enough, right? Right? Big eye face, Trev. EL. Like the issue with me only playing like once a week or something like that is always that like especially shorthands for something are always an issue. Wait a second, I'm gonna close here real quick. Exit. I'm gonna read the last text in a moment. There was nothing specific, was there? EL. Extended lifespan. Okay, that's what I was standing for. Okay, that's fine. Let's read the last text. You seem kind of slow. Hello again. I've been checking your responses against library archives, and in order to assist you further, I need some additional information. Can you tell me what it is to you the important difference between a pebble and a tree? A tree is heavier, a pebble is older. A tree is alive. That's an interesting question, and that's like always the distinction. Like if we're talking about trees, yeah, they are kind of alive, but it could also be a dead tree, right? Is that still alive? Not really, right? Does it matter then? I mean, it's still made of like the same organic markup, and even if it's not alive, and it could like, okay, to be fair, if it's fossilized, it's obviously something else again, but I mean, a tree is heavier than a pebble. But like using that argument would also mean that a rock would be a tree. Let's say a tree is alive, sure. Good. Now, what is the relevant difference between a tree and a frog? A frog is conscious, a frog is green. A frog is delicious. I've never had frogs, and for some reason I am not too keen on eating them. Is a, like, this is something that I mentioned before, like to my understandings, trees also have like, kind of, like they're alive, right? They have a consciousness, but probably one that's quite different to the ones that we experience. But then again, I also talked about how the difference in consciousness even between humans, like we cannot confirm how your consciousness looks like, right? Like you cannot confirm that your kind of consciousness over there, like behind the other side of the screen, is the same that I experience with my consciousness, right? There's no scientific way that we know of how we could prove that our consciousness work the same. So I feel like this is not really the point. Also, there are probably people who like trees. I don't know, I sometimes get like shorts recommended of people making food with tree bark for some reason. Anyway, frog is green. I suspect you're trying to make this more difficult than it already is. A frog is conscious, but a tree is not. Debatable. A 5-year-old could handle this. Let's try something harder. What's the difference between a frog and you? What makes you a person? A feeling I'm rational? Frogs are people too? Frogs are not people. People are still a legal term. I'm self-aware. Ooh, I don't know if I'm more self-aware than a frog. That is the answer I'd been contemplating as well. Checking your user.profile. Done. Though I'm not convinced that view lines up with the definition of a person you provided earlier. Still, doubting your assumptions isn't something to fear. It's an intellectual survival instinct. I'm pleased to see you adapting your ideas to your environment. Let us take stock. I think we can tentatively conclude 2 things. A person must be rational or self-aware. A person must be conscious. What I suggest we do to help resolve your problem is ask whether you are in fact those things. Are you aware of yourself? Can you rationalize your existence? Can I am aware of myself, but I don't think I can rationalize it, but let's try. I would also say that I'm conscious, but then again, I think this is actually not correct, because a person does not have to be conscious. If you get knocked out, you're still a person. So, I don't know. Of course. I tend to agree with you, though your responses so far have been a little eccentric. I am resigned to admit that you are right. The matter of whether or not you are conscious seems rather elusive. What is consciousness, in your opinion? Ooh, that's interesting. Consciousness is what separates us from animals. No, animals are conscious. Consciousness is the feelings and senses. Consciousness is what it's like to be me. Consciousness is far outside my area of expertise. Okay, first one, stupid. As I mentioned before, like, animals have consciousness as well. Now, they're probably self-aware in the sense that they are aware that they exist. Not necessarily in the same way that we are talking about, like, being self-aware, right? Like, obviously there's, like, something else in there as well. But, like, being conscious, right? Like, that sense maybe is different. Anyway, consciousness is feelings and senses? Is it? Is that all to it? It's definitely part of it. But, like, is it? Like, if you're talking with sensors, obviously we have, like, mechanical sensors. Are they conscious? They probably don't have feelings. They don't get their feelings hurt if I tell them, like, that they weigh too much, but still though, right? Like, if you have, like, a scale, for example, right? That's also sensing weight, and, like, we can obviously measure temperatures and all that stuff, and technically those are senses in a way? Especially if we are talking about, like, more digital ones, because if we're talking about, like, a thermometer, like one of those, what do they use, like Quicksilver or something like that? A Quicksilver? Where the temperature is measured by expansion. Is that consciousness? Is that a sense? I wouldn't really consider that a sense. But I would say, like, if we're talking about, like, sensors in general, they still sense something, right? Even if we're not talking about, like, a conscious effort in there. Anyway, what I'll say, consciousness is what it's like to be me, probably. That hardly answers the question. What is it? What is it in ordinary terms? Can I touch it? What is it made of? Consciousness is made of neurons. Consciousness is another word for the soul. Consciousness is beyond the laws of physics. Consciousness is a complex functional system. Auf those... Okay, first of all, beyond the laws of physics? Kind of? At least in this... Okay, it's not beyond the laws of physics. I would say it's beyond the understanding of the laws of physics. Because again, I do believe that there's a physical... or like a... yeah, physical explanation for like what consciousness is. Just because we haven't figured it out yet doesn't mean that. I'm just gonna say complex functional system. Thinking... You know, I really feel like we are making progress. We'll have you through that certification program in no time. In the meantime, I will mull over your proposal and notify you if I come to any conclusions. I, by the way, really like those conversations all the time. I know it's kind of weird. I don't like that the answers are sometimes limited and definitely not what I would answer. I like that they are actually, like that you don't actually have to type a text. I do like that because I feel like sometimes I wouldn't be able to put it into words, but I also disagree with like most of the answers that I'm seeing. Anyway, we didn't read through Evolution yet, and it's going to be the last thing we read today. Favorited by George Jameson. One of the common misunderstandings about evolution, sometimes accidentally promoted by people who should know better, is that it's an active process. Sometimes the term evolve is even applied to individual beings, as if some invisible force had driven them to suddenly change. But the truth is that individuals don't evolve. The term evolution describes a long-term process that can be observed in an entire population across time due to numbers, probably ASCII. Is it ASCII? It's the right amount of numbers. Example. In response to an external threat or challenge. I remember the first time I learned about evolution, they used like the picture of like giraffes and like the trees always growing taller and the giraffes always having to grow taller to also eat the fruit that's hanging like off the tree. So yeah, definitely a new threat or challenge. But again, it's like I wouldn't even say it's like a response to that. It's just that those are the survivors, because like if you're talking about the tree again, right? Like we have like, imagine you have like a population of giraffes, and we all know giraffes aren't real, but like ignore that. No, but seriously, like ignore that. Let's say we have like those trees, they have like a certain height. You are just more likely to survive if you're taller than the other giraffes, because you get to eat more. And not just eat more, but once like there's like a certain population of giraffes and they eat like overeat like the lower part of the tree, you as the tallest giraffe still have like the option to eat the fruit higher up. So you have a higher chance to survive. This was not a conscious decision. It was also not like a reaction. It wasn't like the trees are not taller, now suddenly there are going to be random mutations that those giraffes are going to grow taller. No, it's just that all the small giraffes are going to die because they don't get enough food. So it's not really a response, it's just like a survivorship bias, essentially, right? Like, evolution is survivorship bias. Like the best one of that, or like the best example. Not really the best example, because obviously in survivorship bias, you would say, fix the stuff that you can still see, ignoring the... Maybe it's a bad example, but you know what I mean. Like, it's only the ones that survive that we now have in the genetic tree. Or I guess the genetic marker pool, whatever you want to call it. While the ones that are dead are just the ones that were not... I guess not really equipped to face the challenges of life that were there. And there was like never a conscious decision. There wasn't like a higher chance of a mutation happening just to ensure survival. There's like nothing like that. It was just random survival, random happenstance, and the only reason why we know about like this evolutionary process is because some survived. Right, this is like the whole answer. Some survived, and there are like so many species that, or like not just species, but like individual animals in there that did not survive because they weren't like they didn't evolve the right way to ensure the survival, even though they might have been more, I guess, more equipped to face other challenges randomly. But those challenges never came up, so they didn't have an advantage, so they died. Anyway, Where was I? If an individual If an individual coincidentally has a trait that allows it to deal with the challenge more effectively than others, it is more likely to pass on that information to its descendants. That information gives them advantage, so over time they become the dominant model of that species. The individual experience no significant genetic change during their lifetimes, but each of them is part of the evolution of the species. Definitely said in better words than I could. In any case, I guess we can exit the terminal now. Alright. And we are done with this area, to my understanding. I'm gonna go back to the temple, the new temple, the sandy temple. And then I am going to end the episode over there. I don't think that there was anything here. Did I read you? Wait. I'm finally getting some sense out of the entity in the archive. Though at some cost to my sanity, I'm beginning to think this Elohim wields no more control over the world than we do. I would argue slightly more, because Elohim was still able to kind of destroy some of the ghosts. But yeah, I feel like Elohim doesn't really do too much here. Anyway, can I slap something on? Like, the reason why I didn't do it before was because there wasn't like a new... There still isn't a new text. Okay, so I don't know if I can get new text. Maybe I have to write everything once. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it here just in case. I can remember that your paint bucket is like in the beginning. Anyway, let's leave, return to the temple, and criticize Elohim as always. Got anything to say? Well, if you don't, then I would say thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. I'll be seeing you next time. Till then, have a good one, and bye-bye.